Hello, this is Billy with the RV Factory, giving you a little quick rundown on basics of your coach, on how to turn the lights on and everything. We use the ASA system, so I just do a little run through on there, a little how-to video. At the end of the video, try to make it nice and sweet, but if you do have any questions, just contact us here at the RV Factory and we'll get those questions answered. But I'm gonna try to go through most of everything for you today, and that way you can get started and start living in it. Basically, I always start with our panels here. So right by your entrance door is your solar panel monitor, your black one, which is the front bathroom, and your black two, which would be your back or your mid bathroom back to the galley. So if you flip the switch, you can check the how much is in the half bath, gray and black. The fresh will be on the front one. So fresh tank, I got 15 because I'm draining it. I cleaned it, I sanitized it for you. So basically that's your tank levels. This button here is for your camera monitor system, which is in the cabinet and the slide out. If you're wanting, you can leave the camera inside the coach. You can flip that on, that way you have power to the outside cameras, and then you can view outside your coach while you're inside the coach or for travel. If you do travel with it, just make sure the switch is pushed up so it has power to the outside cameras, and you can travel down the road, plug it into your truck. That way you can have your turn signals, reverse, and door camera. Above that is your Truma hot water heater. Straight across is off. The regular mode, which is a cycle mode, so if you have it the first switch up, it'll cycle constantly, keep the water in the lines hot. That will run a little bit more fuel, but if you put it up on eco, it will just take a couple seconds longer. I always recommend the eco because then your hot water heater is not constantly circulating. So what I do with that is you go to the outside, turn it on first, and I'll show you that when we get to the outside, and then come in here and turn it on, and then vice versa, turn this off when you want it off, and then go to the outside and turn it off if you do travel or want to stop for a minute, because it is a communication cable. Underneath that is all your fuses. Everyone's labeled for you if anything's wrong. There is LED lights underneath, so if one does blow, you'll be able to tell which one has gone out and tell what it is. Same thing as the one underneath of it. And then underneath that is your 110, your main breaker, and then all your other breakers underneath. They are all labeled pretty legibly. They do a pretty good job at that. I can't write that good, so kudos on them. On the other side is your main in-command board. So when you get in your coach, you turn your switch on, and this is everything to do with the electronics. Your awnings, your light, you can turn it on or off, and then in and out. So your awnings will stop when you let go of the button. So if you're putting it out and you let go because you've seen something you didn't like, just let off the button, it'll stop. Same thing as going in. It'll stop when you stop. So when it's all the way in, obviously it'll stop, but in and out, if you let go of the button, it will stop. I like that feature just because you don't want something to keep going if something, tree branch or anything's in the way. Same thing with the slide outs. So you have the main 5 on this board where it says slides. Same thing with those. When you're pushing it in, you let go of the button, it'll stop. So same thing as those. All the way in, all the way out. Just keep your finger on the button until you hear it. And then the other extra slide, which is your vanity slide in the bedroom, that's your 6th slide. So there's 6 slides on this guy. Your lights. So all your ceiling lights, except for your hallway and some of the baths, but all your ceiling lights, mainly in the whole coach, are dimmable. So you can turn them down. You don't have to have them all the way up to 100%. They are dimmable. You can bring them down a little bit, and then you can select turn them on and off from here, or you can download the in-command app RV, and then you can put your coach in there, and then you can actually run everything on your phone. It'll have the same display as this. You can do it right from your phone, from inside the coach, outside the coach. If you're down the road You're hooked to Wi-Fi. You can have Global Connect, and you can run your whole coach from 100 miles away if you would like. Your triggers for your tank heaters and your ceiling fan. This ceiling fan is on this board, and they are on the small boards in the slide outs in the living room. I'll show you those guys here in a second, but if you want to turn the fan on and off, and then the pull cords, you can turn the light on and off or what speed you want, but you can set it. But these tank heaters, you really don't have to have them on unless you know it's going to drop between, it'd be low 32 degrees. The underbelly is heated. So, but if it does, you know it's going to get cold, go ahead and throw those guys on. Your climate, you can just switch right through. Your auto is your up top AC. So if you switch it over to electric or gas, you can have it on auto either way. But if you know it's not going to drop below 40 degrees, you can run everything on electric. So you can run your AC and your heat pumps. This unit has 3 heat pumps on it. So if you do want to run electric heat and obviously the AC, just click it on auto. Whatever you have it set at, it'll start dropping down to that zone. It's a little warm here, I just turned it on, so a little warm here today. But it will automatically set that. Once you set it, it will bring it down. So at night, if it starts to get colder, it'll have to turn on the heat pump on top, and then if it's in the morning when it starts to get warmer, it'll kick on the AC. So that's what's a good thing about with the auto. Or if you know you just want to set it and it's not going to cool down that much, you can just leave it on cool. The electric, the heat, you can set it on electric or gas. Gas is obviously your furnaces, but the electric part is your heat pumps and your ACs. So you got your living room, kitchen, and your bedroom. You can set each zone different if you'd like, because you do have the door for your bedroom to divide it off. Keep it nice and cool in the bedroom. Some people like it colder than the bedroom, and then warmer in the living room, all on what you prefer. And then the settings is how you get into your Bluetooth. You can Bluetooth your phone to it. I'm not going to push the buttons because I don't want it to hook up to our phones. And your Wi-Fi, you can set a passcode if you don't. Every time you can lock it so nobody can get into the screen. But it's up to you on how you do that. So just hit your passcode, and then it'll ask you for your passcode. Set a passcode and set it in there if you'd like. You not have to do that at all. Your battery voltage is here and in the other screen on the other side. Your water pump is right here if you're running off your tanks. You don't need to if you're on city, but if you do want to run your tank, flip it over to tank, fill up your tank, and then turn your water pump on, and it will draw it out of the tanks. So your interior lights. So this switch will turn all your lights on and off. And then when you're ready to select lights, you can go into the light section. Exterior lights are your bottom blue lights. Security lights are your white lights up top. You'll have to mess with those when it's at dark because they're pretty cool looking. Lights it up pretty good. Your security lights are above your door and then around the outside of the coach. And the bottom exterior lights are your blue lights on the jacks. So that's pretty much it on the in-command. Pretty simple. On the boards, everything's touchscreen. Now we'll go up to the bedroom. I'll show you the mini touchscreens for the bedrooms and for one on each side in the bedroom. So there's one on this side, one on that side. This little guy beside it is your temp sensor itself. So once the temperature gets to where it wants, that's what's reading it. So the bedroom, the same thing. So if you want to turn off the lights, you can turn them off individually here too and select which ones. Closet, hallway. So on the other one, it'll be the other side, basically what's in your unit. So everything that's with these touchpads, wherever the touchpads are the lights in that area. The only lights that do not shut off with the ASA system are your reading lights. Those are push button. Just we'll have to turn those on, but those are all push button. And bathroom, the pad is right next to it. This is your remote for your fantastic fan. When you're taking a shower, you can turn that on, and it does have a variable speed, so you can lower it or you can speed it up. And then there is in or out, which I always recommend out, so because you're in the bathroom by state pipe, so it can draw that air in. Your shower washer dryer. Main closet with the dressers. And then we'll head on up to the kitchen area, and then we'll head outside real quick. I'm trying to make the videos fast so you don't have to hear me rambling on all day. So in the kitchen you have your faucet, stove, refrigerator, microwave, and then these guys are your pop-up resets. You pull them up and then push the button, pop them down, and those will sit flush. Just hold the button. And there's 3 pop-ups on these sides. So on this side is your countertop. This does extend out, and the extension's under the bed. So you can have more than just 2 chairs. That just locks in. Your chairs, the only reason they're tied down is for travel. If those do come off the floor, they just on snap. If this guy ever goes off, this is your carbon monoxide detector. And then in each area, you have your smoke detector. So you have one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and then one in the bedroom. So everything's covered in each area. The remotes will be up top on this slide out. When you get it, everything should be up in here. You put the remotes and the camera, monitor, and all that. I'll have it all set up there. I have some of it up there now in the black bag. For some manuals and stuff will be all in the black bag. This switch here is for the overhead. Just these lights up here. So if it's at night, you just want to watch a movie and want to turn the little lights on, you can. Or not. And then we'll head up. We did add your slide tray that you requested, so the slide tray's right here. Filter wrench, and then your hose for your quick connect. There is a little bit of storage back there. I got this in the way, sorry. You can open that guy up once you slide the tray up the other side. So you can throw some things in there if you need be. Not a ton of room, but there is a little bit of room. Throw some chairs in or whatnot, or stuff that you don't use very often. But you can see our wiring, how we have everything zip tied really tight and neat, organized. On the back side of this door, once you slide your slide tray out, you can get to these panels. If anything needs to be reset, these all run your lights. So it starts from the front to the rear, each section, but more than likely you will never have to worry about that. But if there is a section of lights not working, it's underneath this guy and there's a reset button on it. Pass-through lights, so both sides you can turn them on and off from both sides, except for underneath the pass-through. The filters are right here for the 3-stage, which is on the other side, which I'll get to that over there. Fuel tanks, they do have their readers on here, how much is in there, and then you select your switch. Right now it's up and down, and I'm actually going to select just one tank, because if you have it up and down, that actually runs both tanks, so when you run out of fuel, you're out completely. So I always suggest one tank. So this is the short side, short hose, so it comes to this tank. If you flip that over, it'll run to the long hose, which goes to the other side and runs that tank. But I always recommend just using one tank at a time. If you run out, then you're out for good. Underneath, you do have your generator. And the solar system that's on here, there is some block fuses, some extra block fuses under here for you that runs with that system here. And then this is your pump for your jacks, and these are your TPMS sensor switch and the light switch. So this is your tire monitor sensor, and that obviously we have it off because we're not going down the road, so right now it's off. But if you do travel down the road, you just flip that on, and that'll help monitor your tires, keep power to them. And this side. This is your 3-stage system. That's what the black wrench is for, so you can get in here. We did label these for bypass in and out underneath here for your water heater and for your 3-stage system. Everything is labeled on each knob of what it is, in and out, so, or the bypass, so everything's labeled nice and neat for you. And the switch for that is over here too. So we switched 3 switches. If you leave that switch on at night, you'll be able to see underneath the stairs. It's kind of like a night light. You can leave it on there. Most people just shut it off that way they don't see under. So your wet box. So the blue hose is for your quick connect. It does have hot and cold. Light switch is on the same switch over there. I have it off right now. Normal to winterize. So if you do winterize, you just open up that guy, put your hose on for your antifreeze, flip it up to winterize, turn your pump on, start opening all your valves just like any other normal winterized process. Or you can leave it on normal and actually blow them out. Depends on, a lot of people use air, blow the air through it. City fill, so once you're hooked up with your city, this is your fresh fill, city fill. Once you hook up into that and flip it up to city, if you do want to fill your tanks, just switch it over to tank, and then once your tank's full, you can watch it on your monitor, or underneath it does have overflow, so it'll start coming out. So once that's full, you can flip it back up. It'll still draw off your tank. If you are just running off tank, you can leave it straight up and just turn your water pump on. Underneath here, so your front tank, so your front black tank and your front gray tank, your half bath black tank, half bath gray tank, and then your low points to drain all the water out of the whole system is right here. So once you're unhooked and want to make sure everything's out of it, just open those guys and that'll drain the rest of the system. Hot water heater, I have the filter in, so before you hook up, I have the filter up here. So once you hook up, before you hook up your water, go ahead and flip that up, throw your water filter in, shut that guy, and then turn the power on, and then go inside and turn the switch on. Your gas is ready to go on. And your drains for those valves, when you do open them, there is another pull valve on each drain, and these guys do have a heat tape on each one to plug in if you are in a cold environment at some point. But that extra pull valve there, and then that's for your front and back, front black and front gray. This one's for your, basically just your galley, because this is so far back. The galley's all the way in the back of the coach. You have your pull valve here, and then right up underneath here is your pull valve for the galley, for the sink and dishwasher. Click on the back, pull these 2 pins, ladder folds down a little bit. Underneath, power cord reel, just push the button, it'll pull it in. Once you let the button go, it releases the power cord reel. You can just pull it right on out. On the rear, you have a little storage back here for maybe some camping chairs or whatever you'd like. Small grill, and your big pull out underneath. Your hitches in here. So underneath is your light switch, and then on each small door has its own light, and you can turn them on and off. So you're down your center, your light switch is right down the center, and then just pull this guy, pulls it in and out. Other than that, there is one quick connect for your gas propane. If you do want to run a small line for, say, a small grill that's LP, you can get a quick connect gas grill or whatever you want to use a quick connect for. I'm pretty sure that's it on this, but if you do have any questions, just contact us here at the RV Factory, or contact your rep, your sales rep, and they'll get a hold of us and we can walk you right through anything you got. Thank you again. Have a good day.